You part of Marine Land, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's its own city. I didn't know that. It's its own little, there's 8 people. 8 people. I met the mayor. They're doing a Netflix documentary on all the drama they've had over their elections over the past 2 years. The lawsuits and all those. They literally said they're going to, Netflix is doing a documentary on 8 people and they have got all this stuff over who the mayor is. They ain't nobody got to file a court case to get me to quit doing it. Yes, I am.
I'll get through. We've been, sometimes, thank you for your understanding lately, so.
John, you ready? I'm gonna do it on these. You ready, Aaron? We're gonna call the September 11th, 2025 city council meeting to order. I just want to remind everybody to silence their cell phones. Ms. Oak's gonna lead us in our opening prayer, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Our heads, please. Father God, we are so thankful for the blessings you bestowed upon us, the honor to serve our community, and even today, as it's the 24th anniversary of September 11th terror attacks, we thank you for living in a free land. It's maybe free, but it's not cheap. I pray, Lord, that even in our most recent situations regarding violence in our community, violence in political discourse, let this place always be a place of respect and peace. We thank you for the opportunity to live that out in our own lifetime, in the lifetime to come. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag, States of America, and to the republic, God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Yeah. I'd like to take a moment just to remember the victims of the 9/11 attacks 24 years ago today. It was around 9:15 in the morning, best I remember. So I'd like to take a moment just to reflect on them and remember them. Thank you. Roll call, please, ma'am. Here.
Here.
Councilmember Woodhull.
Here.
Vice Mayor Landry. Mayor Fisher.
Here. All right, approval of items on the consent agenda. Approval to read by title only, resolution 2025-18 and resolution 2025-19. And approval to read by title only, ordinance 1056. Do I have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
Take a pick.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Kent.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry. Mayor Fisher.
Yes. Receiving requests from the general public. Do we have anybody here from the public who would like to speak on anything that is not on the agenda? Yes, ma'am, please. Sorry. Come on, Else. If you would just state your name and address for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi.
Here, I purchased some land back in 2023. I bought it from this, Russell, Linda Russell. Before I purchased it, I came to the city and I asked them, could I put a mobile home back there because it was room there. I got it. They told me there was no problem, but I wasn't gonna get it ready at that time. But anyway, I have the paperwork showing the mobile home was there. So, when I did come back last year, I've been up there several times and they failed to even call me back and give me an answer. So, they told me I had to have a licensed person to put the trailer there, whatever, and I got all that and got it filled out. And, she told me, okay, well, I didn't hear nothing else again. So I went back and, she still was working on something, but anyway, she'll get with me. We just went out the month, no answer, so I went back again. And she said something about the zoning, which, I never heard of that, but that was something, one of the things, that they thought they could get it worked out, and I could put them over home back there. And, I'm a caregiver for Levine Neal, he needs somewhere to stay. So my thing is, I reached out and I talked with a couple of people. And she said, well, just wait, we gotta talk to somebody over in Gainesville. She'll get back with me. So I took all the paper, so then I asked for, well, can I come for, appeal to meet up with y'all, but she told me, well, just wait. So I'm still waiting on an answer, I never got an answer back, and that's been over a year now. So, the trailer that I did have, I lost it because it took so long for them to give me okay on it. So I'm stuck with some land that I can't do nothing with. And all the lots out there, like a 70 by 106 deep. And the trailer I was gonna put there was a 14 by 48.
Right.
And I really just need to know, I wouldn't have bought it if it couldn't, never put back in the place. And I have the paperwork, for y'all to look over. I did fill out the paperwork and, I got, there was a trailer there from the beginning. And I just need to give an answer about, which way to go.
Okay, that's the first I heard of it, so.
Well, Ms. Bellamy, we thought that she had contacted you back. The person that was in that role is no longer in that role. There was, like she says, miscommunication, and we thought that she had contacted her because we went through and contacted, did our little thing, and we thought she had contacted you like that.
I've seen it,
But there is a different person in that role now, so, but yes, she can move on.
So
But
is
she was
everything
told-
clear?
She was told she couldn't, and then she was told she couldn't,
Mm-hmm.
but she can put a mobile home
Okay.
there.
there's. all-
Good,
That's
good.
That's good, all right, I appreciate that, that's all I need to do.
So that's she's
It's
good to
still-
go.
if you get another mobile home.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. Is anybody else here that, that wants to speak that's not on the agenda? Here, no one, will move on to bids and RFQs. We still don't have any. Currently, no, okay.
Do we have any out there? Any bids? Which one?
Be back next meeting for the depot shingle replacement.
All right. All right, moving on to general business. I was asked to move item 6C to, they can go ahead, 'cause they got, I think somebody has somewhere they have to be pretty quick, so, agenda. Agenda item 6C, Emily Ketchum with the Boys and Girls Club of North Central Florida to discuss the building rent agreement and council take any action deemed necessary.
Thank you. Emily
Right.
Kiffin, 105 Bridge Road.
Teresa Compton, 1598 Pine Bluff Road.
We have a member here that has somewhere that she needs to be, so thank you all, and we apologize, we're gonna be super quick. I called, John about a week ago, and, the club, we've experienced a lot of funding cuts like a lot of places have, and so we're just requesting to, basically back out of our rent agreement or have our rent agreement where kind of like it used to be, which was $1 a year. And, cause at this point we need all our funds for operations. So, I know we had this agreement and you all have agreed to, help us out in a lot of ways, but at this point we're just really in a tight financial situation. So we're gonna ask if we could, go back to our former rent agreement, back to $1 a year.
Motion to change the agreement.
Oh, wow. From this agreement to the other agreement, is it any difference besides the dollar? Cause I never did get a copy of it. I asked for it to get emailed to me and I never got it, so.
Well, and, oh, I'm sorry, no, well, I was
We
gonna,
had talked about.
Okay, go ahead. Hope.
we,
No, in our last meeting, at least according to my notes, because they were paying over what the last written agreement was.
Mhm.
I think it was more like 8,000 plus.
Mhm.
And there was discussion about capital improvements where it was clarified that that was a part of what the working agreement had been in a prior event or a prior agreement where they were paying less money. As well as it was clarified that any capital improvement that was made on it, that property, like any other property the city owns,
Mhm.
is still up to the city. It doesn't, it's not quid pro quo, where it's like they give this money and they know they have a bank, a little savings to pull from, even though from what I understand, Carly was able to find, that did seem to be the way things are working. It was clarified, you all didn't have to do this. What I understand from Emily is that, and because that was going on month to month, so when it was decided the 6,000 amount was the amount, there was no need to change. And also when we decided that the agreement did not say that they had to receive a portion of the rent to go back to capital improvement, then they were fine with that. And I'm sorry I didn't mail that to you. I thought I did. But I understand what Boys and Girls Club is now dealing with, like she just said, a lot of
Mhm.
cutbacks. And because they are also, I understand, paying for most of the upkeep. I think the kitchen thing was just something out of
Right.
the norm. That the prior agreement, which predates, I don't even know, decades, but that to go back to a nominal amount of $1 so that all the money that they would, I guess, get for rent could be used back in their operational costs.
Gotcha, okay.
and we could, articulate in the agreement that we handle all maintenance and capital improvements, just to kind of, if, you know, like you said, I mean, we can make the agreement whatever you'd like.
I never once saw an agreement. All I heard is word of mouth. What funds are you losing?
We're losing a lot of the federal dollars that we were getting. 21st century, the 21st century and the AmeriCorps dollars are being cut.
John,
Like this 2 years ago, but keeps us out of dealing with their business. We don't have to put this out for the kitchen and all that kind of stuff and get tied down with it. I'm good with it. I put it
so we're
everywhere.
not doing the
Would that
kitchen?
impact the,
Oh,
the thing that's already been agreed to?
I will finish that up.
Okay. But any further requests for capital improvement, they would handle it themselves as well as the care of how many campuses? Or does it include just one?
Just one.
Just that one.
How much were you all paying monthly?
6,000.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second? Is there any more discussion? Ma'am?
Hold on just 1 minute. What if we, went back to the $1 until you got straight? Yeah, you know, you start back getting all your funds in. Cause I still like to see us getting the funds coming in myself to help us pay for those repairs that you need.
Yeah, that's what folks on this.
That is what I would sure see.
We're always open, and we appreciate us too, and we're just in an evolving situation that, you know, I'm sure you've seen a lot of things on
Mhm.
Facebook we've been dealing with, and it's,
I noticed that they gave you the funds back for the food and everything.
they did not give us all of them back.
They only gave you part.
Right.
Sure, okay.
And I mean, and then they take money away and then they give it back to us, but it was too late to spend it.
Okay.
They give it back to it, but you couldn't spend it because of the time frame. So, yeah, we've had a rather large hit the past 6 or 7 months.
I would like to amend that motion. I don't know how to say it. us not to charge but $1 yeah, until she's funded correctly.
I think that was what y'all were coming back for tonight, wasn't it, to go back to the original dollar? Yeah, that's what we're coming back tonight, that's what she was asking. Instead
Okay,
of paying the
I don't know
6,000.
anything.
Shirley wants to go
Yeah,
back
but-
up to 6,000 at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you wanna amend it, okay.
That doesn't really matter either way, because if we go to $1, she's gonna pay for capital. If we go back to 6,000, we're gonna should reimburse her. for capital.
Mhm,
So
so,
wash, we go to
Mhm.
$1, it better be.
Our problem is, of course, we don't have the funds. You know, we need those funds for operations right now, we couldn't use it on capital if we had it, we couldn't, I mean, you know, it's just money's tight for us.
but this way here, y'all will be responsible for
All
upkeep
everything.
and everything, yeah.
Of the lease agreement, you want extra $1, just annually as.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, you know, if you want it to be like it is now and, you know, where either party could come back, because if we do have a situation in the future, we could come back and
Mhm.
you all could decide what you wanted to do at that point.
Yeah, there is some more good enough. If you come back and let us.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to move forward with the $1 lease. Do we have a second?
Second,
What the amendment?
we sure don't wanna put an amendment, she said.
I'm sorry. We have a motion on the table, one direction, they're making a motion for another direction, so we're going back to that two motion thing again. So we need to handle one motion before we do another motion. Mr. Browns, would you like to amend your motion?
Do what?
Would you like to amend your motion to do what Miss Shirley was talking about?
Was,
She was talking about if the financial situation changes again in the future, then renegotiate to go back to a $6,000 a month lease.
sure.
Okay, it's your okay, it's your second on that?
Second.
Okay, very good.
Nita has to agree to the motion to add.
Okay, for me.
I agree.
What?
So it's,
Okay.
She has to agree to the amended motion before you continue. The motion maker and the, second have to agree.
Right, Miss Shirley seconded it.
She did first.
Whatever name you want to use. man.
Okay, do we have a vote now?
yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Bruns,
Yes.
Councilman Hampton,
Yes.
Councilman Nicole,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lincoln, Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. Thank you. All right.
Madam Finance, you now have a budget out of balance.
Mhm.
Fix it quick now.
Okay, we're gonna go back to 6A, Bob Kate with the Taylor County Development Authority to update council on economic development, and council will take any action deemed necessary. Mr. Kate, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well.
I think we had a minute there.
We have those.
Again, I'm Bob Cate, and I serve as the director of the Taylor County Development Authority. I thank my board members that were able to come tonight for coming and supporting this. I want to thank you for your time tonight. You know, when I came 13 months ago, one thing we committed was we would keep our elected officials informed of what we were working on. We have been here on a quarterly basis doing just that. As you have questions or comments tonight, feel free to ask them. And if they're easy, I'll answer them. If they're difficult, we'll let Jeff and Michelle Curtis answer them. My purpose tonight, do you want me to change slides or who's doing the slide change? Okay. My purpose tonight is to share what we've been doing, what we've accomplished, where we are focused in such a way that you understand and have the opportunity to share your insights. So together we are successful in our mission to grow the industrial base of Taylor County. This is a team effort, and I have met with each of you, and I continue to value your support. On the next slide, I want to tell you what we're going to discuss tonight. You have the agenda and can read it, but we never want to stray far from our roots. We have these three core thrusts to nurture our existing industry. We don't need to lose any more, and we need to help them grow. We also are busily working on recruiting new industry, and I have plenty of updates on that, and then have qualified sites available when someone wants to come. In addition, I want to give you some updates on the West Fraser site progress, the GP site demolition, and the support we're receiving from Duke Energy. So it's from those roots that our success will spring. We have just wrapped up a visit with EJ Gavar. EJ is the Director of Business Retention and Development for Florida Commerce. It was interesting that we talked about the things that we do, and we've had Laura DeBella helping us and continuing to help us. I did not know EJ existed. I did not know that Florida Commerce until 2 months ago. He had a separate division on business retention and development. So we've just gotten him down here, and you can see who he has met with Big Top Shelters, met with NAMO, met with RDS Aluminum. We actually had to scratch the Perry Composite Materials because that site sold this week to another company, and I meet with them tomorrow. He won't be here for that. Super Puff gave us a great visit there. You can read these and see what we have done. Tremendous support from Florida Commerce. So I've met all these companies, but it was neat watching EJ go through and talk to them and ask them questions, and things came out which I hadn't asked, and we got questions asked and answered I didn't know about. So we have a whole new list of things to work on with these and other companies. On the next slide, I want to give you an update on our recruiting new industry. So since we last met with you in last quarter, it was Michelle Curtis who so graciously agreed to share this information as I was out of town. But we've connected with 8 new industries that have expressed interest in Taylor County. We lost 4 that we previously had. 5 went inactive for various reasons. And we've discussed in the past those, and I'll show you one tonight as a specific example of one that went inactive and came out active again. So we had a site visit 3 weeks ago. You'll see I've added some information to your slide here because we have updates through today. So we had a company from Texas visit last Thursday, and we had a new company came to town and spent an hour with me and then at Big Bend learning about the training and how they can pivot to provide skilled labor for the needs this company would have. On the next slide, I'd like to update you on our active projects. And as you know, we don't ever talk about these companies by name. We don't put their email addresses or phone numbers out there. I actually have that master spreadsheet. We've had 36 companies since I came in August 11th. So it's not me, I'm just starting a timeline there. 36 companies come talk about Taylor County, serious enough to get on this on the list. Of those, we have 10 active projects today. I want to take a minute. You can read the list. I want to tell you a little bit about how these come. As I told you before at a previous meeting, they come from everywhere, but I'm going to give you some specifics. Project Beta. I received a call on the TCDA phone line. You don't know that phone is forwarded to my personal cell. So if you call TDCA, I get the phone. So it's not something I check messages. It's something I get the call when it rings. Bravo, call came to a TCDA board member. Kappa, an email came to the mayor who forwarded it to me. Sigma, the call came directly to me. Tau, the contact came from Omnitrax. They own Georgia Florida Railroad, and they were reached out to for, do you have a rail site in Taylor County? Theta, Laura and I originally made contact during the early GP closure days. They were interested in the Foley site, but were turned away. These were one of those 8 that were turned away by GP. But in recent months, they've gotten interested again outside of the GP site, and they're back on our active list. Echo called TCDA and got me. This is one that's headquartered in South Florida and has a plant in South Florida, and now they're growing and looking for the location for another plant. Maverick contacted Laura directly. Renegade, a friend of a friend, one of those kind that reached out then to a TCDA board member. And then Faro contacted me directly. So these are just giving you not more detail than you need, but just a sense of the flavor of what a day in the life, a week in the life, or a month in the life at TCDA is like. The phone calls we receive, never knowing which one might be the one. And we treat them all as if they were the one. Let me give you an update now on West Fraser. I believe some of this is review, but I want to make sure you know that we all come up to kind of the same speed. On July 4th, the actual sale was completed. On October 4th, there will be on October 4th, there'll be an equipment auction there. Buyers will have 120 days to remove their purchased items. But while this is going on, they're not sitting waiting. They're out doing building repairs now and general cleanup throughout this time. We continue to stay in close contact with John Sherrill, and he continues to welcome as we present him opportunities that come to us and they are interested in that property. So he maintains his own list, but obviously some of those on our list are lined up waiting to see what he's going to do with that site. Foley cellulose, you can get buried in Foley cellulose. So let me kind of jump to the end and I'll cover my slides. Chet Thompson, as you know or don't know, Chet Thompson is the former environmental manager at Georgia Pacific. Chet Thompson was the project manager for the pipeline. Chet Thompson will be speaking at the county commissioners meeting next Tuesday. There'll be a question and he has a presentation, but it'll be a question and answer session. And this is really the opportunity for Taylor County to understand what's happening. City of Perry, Taylor County, all of you to understand what's happening there. And when are the intervention points? I keep kind of getting bumped into on the street and people ask me, when do we have a public comment? When do we get to say something? When do we get asked something? When do we get to express our opinion? And that is coming. Because of that, Tuesday night looms large as a good opportunity to understand what those next three opportunities are. So I will get back on my slide now. I've mentioned Chet. So in July, GP extended their asbestos remediation completion date. They thought they would be through October 31st of next year. As they got in, they found more asbestos than they originally anticipated, and they've extended that to October 4th of next year. Their water usage, they target a 4 million gallon a day withdrawal from the number 2 well. And this is the well that's directly under the mill site that keeps that cone under the mill, the cone of groundwater under the mill, keeps all the groundwater in that area flowing to under the mill. Without that 4 million gallons, the cone would flow out from under the mill. In addition, they also treated about 1.1 million gallons of water in August, making for a total usage of about 5.1. On August 12th, Florida's Department of Environmental Protection requested from Georgia Pacific additional information. And that is a form, we just love 3-letter acronyms in Florida on RAI, request for additional information. They asked for a lot, but the 3 core things, the 3 legs of that 3-legged stool are the decommissioning plan for the wastewater treatment plant, the well line plan, and the groundwater monitoring plan. So GP now has 90 days to reply to that. Excuse me, 60 days to reply to that, but they can ask for a 30-day extension, which I would feel sure they would, and I would expect they'd be granted. That's a reasonable request. I would expect they'd be granted. But the RAI includes an anti-degradation assessment. That's a public comment period where GP asks the public. It'll come out like a notice in the newspaper. There'll be a meeting when you can come and tell them what you think about this. And that's, again, a lot of people have opinions, but they need to be informed opinions. The best way to get an informed opinion, of course, is always to get the facts. And the best way to get the facts is to listen to Chet Thompson and hear him explain it, because he can do better than I can and probably better than anyone can without letting you get overly technical. So I recommend again Tuesday at the county commissioner meeting. Separate from that, on August 7th, GP submitted a wastewater permit application to move their discharge point back to the previous location upstream of US 19. So, if you've lived here more than a week, that at one point they discharge into the river. Then as they cleaned up, they got everything cleaned up except for the salt content. It was still brackish. So they got the permission to build the pipeline and put the brackish water, the brackish treated effluent into the brackish water at the mouth of the Penn Holloway. Obviously, they wouldn't be doing their thing with this lawsuit that's between them and Four Rivers. They weren't saying if we lose access to that pipeline, we have to put it somewhere. So this is their plan B. It's not their preferred plan. It's their plan B. If the lawsuit works out, where I'm not saying how to get it out, if it works out so they have access to the brackish component of the mouth of the Pinhalloway, that's where they want it to go. If they don't, this is it. And so there's another permit here being asked for, which means there'll be another public comment period. That's the key message on that. I think that's enough on that. The key is that we're staying abreast of this. We have the thumb on the pulse. Jeff Thompson's actively involved, and Jeff will help. He won't tell you what to do, but he'll tell you what to think about doing. And I think that's important. Let me share a few other things. The Duke Energy continues to be very supportive of us, and we did get the $10,000. We haven't seen the money. I think you'll all experience getting the grant, but not yet seeing the money. That's where we are. We've been told we were awarded $10,000 and that we turn in to reimagine Taylor County, improve our website, we want to be on the tip of everyone's tongue when they say, where can I put my plant? I need people saying, I've heard about Taylor County. I know about Taylor County. I think about Taylor County, and we're working on getting that on the tip of people's tongue. The Duke Energy site readiness, the city of Perry property, we've talked about that, giving you updates. You know, when we got that site readiness complete, they had like 4 recommendations. There's 4 things you ought to do. 3 of those are complete. I feel like I'm the action item person. And so we've got 3 of those done. The 4th one is there were a couple more studies recommended. So we've been out getting quotes, and we have those quotes, and now I'm turning back to Duke. We'll figure out a way to get these last studies done. But we want to put a bit of a bow on this. And then we've already identified where at least for our conversation piece, of where we'd like to get more money from Duke to do another site readiness assessment. So we're trying to remember our 3 legs: keep the industry you have and help them grow, get new industry to come and have a place for them to come when they get here. Also, let me see that next slide, and I will jump to the bottom and come back to the top. So on August 20th, TCDA signed a memorandum of understanding with Florida Commerce and Select Florida, designating TCDA as their primary economic development partner for Taylor County. Just trying to avoid the confusion and make sure that we can keep some focus on how we work and work together. As you know, we're all into building the teams here. There's no big I's, no little U's. It's all about all of us working together, whether it's us with the city council, us with the commissioners, us with the zoning board, us with private citizens. We're all into working together. But I think that's going to help us. Yeah. And then at the end, I just want to kind of summarize. So what are we here for? We've been here 13 months, and I'd love to tell you we have a ribbon cutting, but we haven't had a ribbon cutting. But I'd love to tell you we didn't lose any more industry, and we haven't lost any more industry. You all know we don't take credit for what other people are doing, but you all know, kind of think about what's going on. We've got NAMO looking, they've got phase 1 approved, got the groundbreaking in October and doubling in size. We're working with them on that. Met with them yesterday. Big Top doubling in size, got their permit, got their variance on their parking. We've worked with them to that. Working on the RIF grant to get that turning lane that DOT's requiring. When they think about doubling in size, I mean, they're doubling traffic, those big trucks coming in and out. Well, DOT, as you would expect, required a turn lane. We found $215,000 for them to not have to pay for that turn lane. So those are the kind of things that sometimes flies below the thing, and I'm happy if it always flies below. We don't care about credit. What we care about is getting things done. But what we are here for is to execute an economic development plan that facilitates the expansion, recruitment, and creation of businesses which grow the county's long-term ad valorem tax base, retains and creates permanent value-added, higher wage jobs in Taylor County, sustaining and elevating the quality of life of our citizens. And we, on our next to the last slide, we don't get any metrics for how many times someone visits our website, how many brochures we hand out. We, just like you, have to be held to the only results that count. And that is, did we actually deliver on the promise? So here are our metrics. Business retention, number of existing businesses receiving support from TCDA. Job creation, new jobs created through business retention and attraction efforts. Capital investment, total amount of private investment in Taylor County. Site development, number of sites made available for business relocation and expansion. And ultimately, it's about population growth. It's about rooftops. People want to know when the good restaurants come, they come when you have enough people to make them profitable. We're gonna look for increase in population, particularly those related to job creation. So we're holding ourselves accountable to things that actually matter to the city of Perry and to Taylor County. So as I close, when you're surrounded by people who share a passionate commitment around a common purpose, anything is possible. We believe that. What questions do you have for me or for Michelle or Jeff?
Yeah, job creation from, NAMA is gonna be in the ballpark of
100+ jobs,
100+. And, Big Top,
less than 100, but
okay,
pushing 100.
gotcha. So I mean, just focusing on what, the industries we have here is working.
We would be remiss to dangle something in front of you that we can't talk about, but I can just tell you that they're not the only two businesses in Taylor County. They're the two that have made the newspaper. They're not the only two who are looking at growing their businesses.
Going back to the mill, from what I've been told, it didn't happen overnight. It was years and years and years
In the making.
before they drove the first piling for it.
We had a,
I mean, if they took over the old Burton, Brooks Scanlon,
yeah, Brooks Scanlon.
one of them, but it was 5 years of,
I did a benchmarking
Yeah.
visit with another county today. I was looking for rural counties, and the county that Muckalini is in. The Darrell Register Economic Development person there said, I said, help me. We're doing the best we can, but help me on what we're not doing well or how we can do better. And he gave me an example of something they're doing right now. 2020, they had a company visit. They finally got approval for all their permits in 2023. And now they're doing their groundbreaking next month. So in 5 years from their first visit, they're just doing a groundbreaking. That's 900 jobs for their county. Wow. So we're certainly not looking to say 5 years is good or acceptable. And probably the bigger the company or the more complex the operation, the longer it takes. In other words, you can do a lot of small things a lot quicker. But it would certainly have taken a pulp mill. I mean, I've been on permitting mills. I've looked at permitting a mill in Thailand. I permitted the mill in Thailand. And, it takes 2 years to get the permit. Then you start construction. It takes 2 years to get the construction done. And then you start your training and getting it up to speed. So you're clearly 5 years on large, complex projects.
it just seems like anything of any size just takes time.
Seems like it.
Just,
But again, we look forward to crossing that bridge when it comes.
Right.
Right now, I would probably rather, given my druthers, and I don't get to pick, I'd rather have 425 person jobs, sites. Because I think we like the flexibility and the variety and sure, kind of maybe good times and bad times wouldn't be so much feast and famine. You could kind of spread it out. Really, what questions do you have?
Are you also looking for retail? Food establishments and everything? You look up everything.
We are open to everything, but let me be clear so I don't create confusion. The day I walked in and from that day till today, I knew Dawn from back when I was here full time. Said, Dawn, you're retail, I'm industrial.
Okay, so you're.
So if someone says I'm a dry cleaner, and I want to come to town, I say, that's great, and here's Dawn's phone number. But don't think I ever say no to anyone. On Christmas Day, I was getting a call from a lady who wanted a ramp on her mobile home, and I was working to get her a ramp on. No one's ever called me that I said, no, that's not my job. But no, I try to focus on industrial recruitment and let Dawn do the retail/commercial type.
Okay, sounds good.
So it worked for us so far. Different counties do it differently, but we've never had any tension or anything. We just work hand in hand. Good question.
Second question.
Is this the hard one?
Yeah, this is the hard one.
Are you ready, Michelle?
When are you gonna make me jump up and scream? Say, we got it. Such and such is coming to town.
I'm looking forward to that day.
It's coming.
It's coming.
I know it is.
Don't grow weary
I
and
know
well
it's
doing for
coming.
a due season if you faint.
I know it's coming.
It's coming. We've been that close. Like I told you before, we've just been a keystroke away between us and Columbia County. We always would be closer to Jacksonville.
Yep.
But we came, we didn't check that box. But it's been that piece.
Competition.
Are you still looking at the site?
Yes,
I don't remember how many acres it is. But something that just popped in my mind. I'd call it the Hope Davis property.
Okay.
Which before that was Cruisecraft.
Okay.
North 19, right-hand side, rail siding. I don't know who owns it now, but he has died. There's, I believe, all his family, except one son that's in Tallahassee. Might be,
I will look at that and I will look into that. We picked up a 70-acre railroad frontage property last week that we're allowed to now, I call it market. Remember, I'm not a real estate agent, but we have the real estate agent's permission when someone comes to town. So I've already talked to OmniTrax because they are always looking for railroad siding property. And this 70 acres has both railroad and paved road frontage. So you could, the access would be just enormous.
right off highway.
I'll follow up. Thank you.
You know, Mr. Councilwoman Hampton took my question.
She took your question.
Yes, I do have a
Did
request.
not mean to.
You're fine.
How may I serve?
Could you please add me back to the email list so I know when the meetings are, so I can
Be
attend?
honored to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Agenda item 6B, Dan Castle to address the council on parcel 07740-000. Council will take any action deemed necessary.
Good evening, council members and mayor and city staff. Thank you for hearing me out today. My name is Dan Castle, not to be confused with the other three Dan Castles that are in town. So let's set that record straight now because there's four, it's not three. I own a house at 412 Glen Ridge. My handicapped daughter lives there. And you guys have a parcel right behind it. And since the hurricane, that thing is overwhelmed with rats, rodents, raccoons, getting into the neighborhood's houses. And then there's probably 15, 20 trees down, and that thing is hideous and it holds water. I'd be willing to purchase that parcel if you're willing to sell it, but we gotta come to some understanding of what you guys feel that it's worth.
This is the parcel we've talked about a few times already. It's got all the trees down. I think some other people put trees on it and
Yes.
it's
I went over there
it's a
today.
mess.
I had two estimates. One was 8,000 to clear the lot, and the other one was 12,000 to clear the lot.
That's the same guys we had.
So I mean, it's an expensive proposition. So with knowing that I'm gonna have somewhere between 8 and 12 to clear that parcel up, and the parcel on value is only $8,500.
Yeah, let's just get it to zero. The money to clean it up. That's just to get it to,
If you guys are
Yeah.
willing to sell it at a reasonable price, I'm willing to put it back on the tax rolls and beautify one more lot in the city. I own
Yep.
several parcels on the city, so this isn't my only one.
Mhm.
John hit the floods on,
That parcel right there usually is knee deep in water after a good rain.
boom.
Could you put a house on it? I lived in South Florida and I moved out of there because I didn't want a house on stilts. That's what that would need. It would have to be at least 3 or 4 foot off the ground.
Mhm.
Because I don't believe you or anybody will allow me to put 3 feet of fill, because then the water's gonna push in and flood the neighbors' houses.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd walk that and it was knee deep in water. Now, luckily it's dry now, but we haven't had rain in how long?
Too long.
I mean, like I said, it adjoins mine. I know none of the other neighbors are interested in it. It's an eyesore and they're just happy someone's willing to get it and try to clean it up.
Yeah, I've talked with several people tried early on, trying to get people to buy it. Nobody wanted it.
The only reason why I want it is, like I said, my handicapped daughter lives right behind it. She's got a service dog and I don't want rodents getting in at her service dog.
Which lot's your other one, where she lives? That one?
Probably, yes, that one right there.
Okay.
Like I said, I have 5 or 6 more in the city at various places.
Well, I mean, does anybody got any ideas, any starting points?
I did ask for a broker's price opinion, and it came back at 7,000.
For the land, that's what they're saying it's worth. With the cleanup costs or, because I know it's on the tax roll at 8,500.
Yeah.
I know that's probably a reasonable price. If it was cleaned and you could do something with it.
So you said, well, how much, June?
7,000.
$7,000.
And where did that price come from?
Local broker's price opinion.
We're gonna deal with that later. Right now, under a certain amount, we're going with a broker's price opinion. Over a certain amount, we're going with a full.
I'm just here to see if you want to get rid of it and leave me clean it up.
Because a broker is gonna come within 5% probably of a actual appraisal, because they know what's going on with the market.
Mhm.
It's a crazy market.
Yeah. It is.
Like I said, the only thing that scares me is the 8,000 to 12,000 declared. I can't give you 8,500 and spend another 8,000. I mean, the lot's not worth that. And I'd be willing not to buy it if you guys are willing to clean it. That's the result I get from
Yes.
the rest of the people. You don't have time, effort, and money to do it, and I understand that.
Mhm.
Because I know you guys have a bunch more lots that are in the same position. I'm just willing to take one off your plate.
Throw a number out there.
What do we pay half the cost of cleaning it?
If you guys pay half the cost, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the $8,500, you clean it all up.
Okay.
I can't pay more than what the property is worth, is what I'm trying to tell you. That's not a good business decision. I can't, I mean, I haven't even heard a price of yet of what you guys are even looking at. Somewhere we just need to get down to the negotiation, that's all it is.
Looks like when I'm hearing the property's worth. It ain't worth as much as it's gonna cost to clean it up.
Mhm.
That's a true statement.
Exactly. You chop that by 35.
I'll write you a check for 2,500. I'm still gonna be at that lot for over 10,000, 10,500, almost $11,000. That's about $3,000 more than lots.
We'll see. How much?
2,500,
How big is the lot?
Mm-hmm.
0.92.
Because
Yeah, the problem is in that flood zone, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure you can actually build a house on that.
If you do, it's gonna have to be taller than.
He can build it, but it's not gonna be financeable.
Yeah, you
It's not
Yeah.
insurance.
So I mean, even if you put a house on and build it, you better have someone with cash. And yes, there are people with cash in this town, but I find that there's more people that don't have cash that are struggling today.
Yeah.
Isn't most of our properties on flood zones, in flood zones?
I don't think so.
It's scattered around. It's different.
There's a
varies,
lot,
yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like everything around here.
Yeah.
Comes and goes.
One block, one way or the other, it totally changes.
On one hand, you get $2,500 a lot cleaned up and a property back on the
There
tax
you
roll.
go.
On the other hand, we spend $8,500 and still don't have it back on the tax roll.
I'm gonna
It's
make
a hell of a deal.
Feel free.
I'll make motion for the 25.
Do we have a second? 2,500 and cleaning it up.
I will get it cleaned up. I can't tell you it'll be tomorrow or the next week because my schedule is kind of full. Anybody that knows me that, I'm a pretty busy man. But yes, it will be cleaned up. I promise you that. I'm tired of looking at the rats running across my daughter's backyard. Some of those suckers are pretty big. One might have been a raccoon, but
Got a motion on the table for 2,500 plus cleanup. Do we have a second?
property appraisers got it at 8,500.
yes.
The ordinance says no less than property appraiser.
One we approved last So we'll go with BPO to 7,000. Y'all can drop it down up to 10% based on issues like cleanup and stuff like that.
I'm
Well,
sure that
well-
8,500 value was way before that lot was trashed.
Yeah, and there was a
Well, if I'm-
property worth 64,000 and sold for 3.
Yeah, and if I'm not,
Clean it up.
well, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not, hold on a minute. Hold on a second. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't passed that yet, have we?
Did last week,
The other one says to,
Right, but we have a second reading on,
just a resolution for one ordinance.
okay. But we also agree that the ones that started before it, we were gonna finish, best I remember. Am I wrong?
Everything else, we don't do it every.
Well, there was this one and one more. Either way, I just want to get the thing cleaned up. And the city can't seem to pull it off.
I mean, you guys just have entirely too many lots to clean up. I mean, trust me, I mean, everyone's struggling with it. And I know you guys are in the same boat as everybody else trying to clean stuff up.
So anyway, we got a motion on the table right now for 2,500 plus cleanup, which is gonna bring the actual cash value to what?
Somewhere between 11,000 to 15,000. I'll have it when it's all said and done.
Going in the whole 30 grand to get it cleaned up. It's a good deal.
And the only reason I'm going in the hole is, like I said, my daughter lives there. If it wouldn't be for that, it would stay there.
Right.
I mean, all my other rentals, I wouldn't be doing this on any of my other rentals.
I know nobody around that wants it.
No,
They
no.
want it cleaned up, nobody wants it.
No, I've talked to the neighbors, it's
They
basically,
won't touch it.
and it's right around the curve, so it's not like you can put a driveway in there, you get hit coming in and out, so. I mean, it's,
Once y'all agree to a price, it's gotta be sold by ordinance anyway. Anybody that wants to come talk about it has 2 more opportunities.
We got a motion on the table. Do we have a second? Going once. Going twice. The motion dies for lack of a second.
There's still more than constituents in here, so.
if you're even thinking about doing it, follow the ordinance.
So it's 6,300 was the lowest you could do based on the policy we approved last time. He brought this up before that policy was approved. Value on the property, that's what we ran into last time. That value really has no meaning.
did that price that you gave, did the person go out there and look at that lot, or they just,
Who what had sold in that area.
that's not a fair assumption what that property is. If that property was cleared, yeah, I would give you the 7 grand. It'd be worth 7 grand to me. But I'm sure that appraisal was without 15 or 20 trees laying on it. And weeds that are waist high.
I wish they were just laying on it. Some of them are being held up by me,
Oh, no,
and
it's-
they're getting dangerous.
Trust me, I walked through there again thinking, what the heck am I doing?
Kids are gonna be walking under them at some point. It's gonna fall on
It's a
them.
liability to the city.
Just saying, I'm just telling you right now what's gonna happen. I hope it don't. I really hope it don't. Good chance it will not, but it could. I don't want it to.
If this is how we're going to sell surplus land, then we need to come up with a better way of doing it.
That's what we tried to do. That's me.
Yeah, but the thing is, this
Yeah,
land
for every
is $7,000. And we're going to subtract the amount that he would have to pay to clean it up.
You owe me that, and that's not fair.
Oh, just hold on, please, sir, let me finish. So, and we're going to do this in every council meeting and still just stay stuck. We need to come up with a better way. Because this is getting old.
You did get it.
I don't know.
Just get them home and we'll stand
All you gotta
stuff.
do is say second, and it's done. The lot's cleaned up, it's all back on the taxpayer, after paying taxes on it, lot's cleaned up, we get $2,500. The other option, we pay $8,000, get it cleaned up, and it's still, nobody's paying taxes on it.
And so percent.
So we don't have to take the deal and run. I'll call Sean tomorrow and I'll get that number changed to 2,500, we can come back next week.
I think if somebody would go out there and appraise it the way the lot currently is, that number would drastically change.
But it seems like John's gonna make it work out for you.
However, it works, either you guys clean it or I'll clean it. It's, if I don't purchase it, I just request that you guys clean it. Because now it's almost a safety issue with my daughter, with the rodents.
With anyone, there's like fence around it. Now it is wide open.
Mr. Council, I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you very much. And if something changes, let me know. But if not, I do request that you guys start cleaning it up.
Tomorrow morning, I filed a code enforcement against the city of Perry for this lot, period.
Do it.
I am.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you.
I've had enough of listening to it. There are options to get it done and nobody wants to do
Nobody
it,
wants to do it.
so I'm filing it.
I'm willing to do it for you.
And I, as mayor, will stand in front of the magistrate and explain it.
When you file it for all the other properties as well,
You file all of them you want to. I'm filing on this one.
that's up to you.
Now, it is up to me and I'm gonna do it.
So where do we stand? I guess I'm really confused of where we just left off.
The
It's
motion
died.
died.
I understand that.
Mhm.
Is Shauna Beach gonna look at this or are we done?
I'll get back with you.
I just get with John.
Figure out, come everything. I like this.
And in the meantime, I don't know how much, you were mentioning the roles, if you want to hire an appraiser to give, private appraiser to do.
I can get a realtor out there and give you an estimate of what it's worth. Well,
But see, this is the thing. We have come up with a policy of how we're gonna do with these properties. But every time someone comes up here, we
Everything
go against
changes.
it. Everything changes. You can't keep doing something for one. And then when other ones come up here, you don't wanna do it.
3 hurricanes made an ugly mess.
It did.
All right, I will get with John and we'll see where, and like I said, if you want, I can get a realtor that I use to tell me what it's worth. As it sits,
Mhm.
if that will assist. All right, John, just.
Are we gonna listen to the realtor?
Just give me a call, let me know what you want to do. and I'll be-
Property brokers, so I guess.
I'd be more than happy to come back.
We'll get it.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You have a great night.
You too.
see you later. Item 6D, resolution 2025-20. Council to conduct public hearing on the city of Perry tentative millage for fiscal year 2025-2026 and to take any action deemed necessary. A resolution adopting the tentative millage rate for the city of Perry, Florida, covering its fiscal year operation beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026.
So 2 options for millage rate was the prior year millage rate of 5.8336, which would bring in $2,151,266. $27,492 of this going to the CRA fund. This would be a 0.25% change from the rollback rate, and this is the city manager's recommendation to fund our budget. And this is what y'all chose to advertise on the notice. And then the other option is the current year rollback rate, which would bring in 5.8188, and it would bring in $2,145,808.
Motion to adopt. Do we have a second?
The 5.8336.
Whatever,
Mhm.
whatever's in that budget.
Prior year's millage. We have a second,
Second.
Ms. Hanson seconds.
Yes.
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 Yes. Agenda item 6F. Excuse me, 6E. Council, resolution 2025-21. Council to conduct public hearing on the city of Perry tentative budget for the fiscal year 2025-2026. To take any action deemed necessary. A resolution adopting the tentative budget for the city of Perry, Florida. For the period of October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026. Do we have any discussion on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
We just,
Okay, just a change.
yeah, get a whole bunch of changes to get, with the boys, girls, stuff, we can go with all that. Yeah, something like that.
Sorry, I was almost done. If y'all give me like 2 seconds.
We can move on to another, item if you wanna continue working on that.
Brian told me to hurry, so I'm sorry. Y'all got.
Only takes a couple minutes.
It doesn't when I do it on my computer, it all figures it on my Excel sheet, and you're making me do it here manually.
You don't wanna reduce this budget. I mean, if you want to reduce it, be fine, but you don't want to reduce it. If you're comfortable with what you've got in here,
We were until the
and if
$72,000.
you're not, reduce it.
We did, that's what I was trying to figure. It will,
We
this
could-
is
we
the
could,
rough draft though.
We
We'll have
can
it
cover
by-
that and just don't pay Jamie.
You know what?
You just became a volunteer.
The simple place is, of course, your 72,000 less 37 out of balance. It's used cash brought forward of 72 in the utility tax.
Let's do that.
That's the simplest place.
I agree. Thank you.
And then just add and subtract and transfer.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
She did all that work to get down $3.
No, let's, don't.
Let it.
If he's, let's do that. So I don't even, y'all ignore my coffee.
What did you do?
But I mean, I don't feel, I would feel better if I could go back and do all my numbers, not trying to rush.
Brush it, okay.
But I mean, if y'all are good with pulling it.
Have
through,
we got to adopt tonight?
So y'all have to adopt the tentative budget tonight, but then we still have the next meeting on the 23rd, which would be the final, so we can still make
Okay,
changes.
so
up
you,
to there.
we can adopt the tentative. What do you call it? Subject to changes.
Yes, sir. And I mean, there's normally changes in between the tentative and the
Hey.
final anyway, so
Big deal.
yes, everything's final now. The only thing that changed from the last one was we got the local option gas tax number and it was $340,205. And then we used local option gas tax funds to cover street capital outlay expenses because those are qualifying expenses for local option gas tax, like the front end loader and the tractor. Because that's for the roads or right of ways. That's the only things that we changed. So this is what will be advertised, and then any changes that we bring forward concerning the Boys and Girls Club would just be, I'll do what y'all requested and we can
You understand how I said do it?
cash brought forward reserves,
Do it
cash brought forward,
in utility tax.
yes, sir.
And then.
And then
we-
transfer utility tax monies into the other funds. So that would be from reserves, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We need a motion to adopt the tentative.
Yes, sir.
We do.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Bronze,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull,
Yes.
Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. Now, agenda item 6F. Ordinance number 1056, introduction of first reading. Ordinance 1056. An ordinance of the city of Perry, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Perry, Taylor County, Florida, regarding surplus lands, conveying certain land and to provide an effective date. The whale side, right? The whale. Yeah.
Side of TNT properties.
Do we have a motion or any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Cal mentioned that he would pay $4,500 for the cleanup. Are we going to collect those monies? Cal said he paid $3,000 for the land and $4,500. Assist with the cleanup. No one heard that.
Well, there was a lot of stuff talked about. I don't remember. I remember it came down to $3,000. I thought.
He said he would.
Mr. Johnson.
We were gonna clean it up.
You said that you.
Yeah, we were gonna, it was 3,000 and we were gonna clean it up.
So you didn't say anything about $4,500?
Yeah, that was not what the motion was. It was 3,000 and then we were gonna be responsible for cleaning everything.
But you also said that you'd be willing to pay the $4,500 back to the city for them cleaning up. I heard that, Cal.
I'm not,
Whatever.
I'm not saying you're wrong, I can't, but I don't remember that.
Motion.
Oh, this is the first reading.
No, okay.
yes, ma'am. Do we have any further discussion?
I'll put that up on the recording.
Okay. Anybody from the audience like to speak on this? Anyone else? Okay. Agenda item 6G, council to appoint one citizen to serve on the Perry Planning and Zoning Board, and council to take any action deemed necessary. We come with anyone yet?
We don't have anyone yet, but one of the board members has spoken with someone. And he will see him again next week. And he's going to send him up there to City Hall to talk to us about it. I'm not sure of his name, but he works out at the hospital.
All right,
So maybe next meeting we'll have someone.
okay. Sounds good. So we'll just revisit this next meeting. All right, agenda item 6H, approval of minutes from the August 26th regular session. Do we have any corrections or?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
As they wrote a few minutes corrections for me. About what I said about the children.
Oh, okay.
I want it to be known that I ask for prayers for everyone. And not just for my family.
Well, we appreciate that. Everybody needs prayers. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Brown,
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. All right, John. Got anything?
Yeah, I think hopefully all y'all read your email about the land we were looking at for a new water well site. I don't know how many bullets out there, but we really do need that.
Land on Plantation. It's in the right side of town for, I've been hearing that for years. We need to well on that side of town.
Park location, be both their mains on Old Dixie Ave, 19.
What's the price on it?
74,900.
What's the acreage?
Put on here.
Sounds like it's worth it. In the right location and ain't making any more. Not that I've seen.
I don't quite pull it up in there, pull it in the newspaper. Possibly go up.
Where is Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I pull it.
The property is not far away from the original property. And it's actually part of the original 5 that we looked at. We don't.
Oh, yeah, right there in the middle.
Sit right there on vacation.
Then get, yeah.
And across. Have people-
So that railroad property's always been a,
Yeah, that's.
Block.
But
that'll get around that,
Plantation, we have a main line in front as well.
right?
It's kind of already,
Cause every time you try to go toward Dixie, you run into the railroad property.
you got county offices and the DOT offices right here, so it's kind of set up for government type. The property we were looking. This one right here.
11 acres.
11 acres for 440,000.
Mm,
Still didn't have good access to your main.
all right, you can't get across, well, you can't get across the railroad, though.
They never would talk to me.
Yeah.
This portion,
Exactly.
it's pretty wet back in there.
What do you need from us, John, to,
I ordinance, I was assuming, but I guess to go ahead and sign the contract on behalf of the city. And Carly, still we got the money in the bank, which I know we do.
just, pay for it out of reserves or?
This would also make a big impact. One for grants in the state right now, if you show the initial district we're willing to get the property.
That's true.
That would look
Yeah.
good, yeah.
We're having development.
You know, directly be matched funds for the city.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, we need some kind of,
That, I mean, it's gonna have to be up by ordinance, but I need a motion to go ahead and sign the contract before it falls through.
Okay.
motion by Ms. Hampton,
Second.
second by Ms. Woodbury.
What are we doing?
Motion to sign the letter.
Property.
Property for the water well on the south side of town. Or water plant, actually, it's gonna be in and not just a
I
well.
will not sign a contract for it.
No.
Absolutely not a contract.
Sales contract.
No contract about the property.
What if this well's bad?
Get that, but
That, no, you need to understand how to do that. And first is you get whatever, put a test well in. And if the test well's bad, you walk away. But you're making a big mistake if you pay.
we can ask.
And I don't know. Well, I lived here for a pretty good while. I'm not sure that that's gonna turn out good with what's there.
Ask her if she'll let us do that.
you can't
I got you.
contract for something, a well, property, without knowing if it's good for what you're gonna use it for.
That's correct.
Mhm.
You wouldn't do that with a house, would you? With your house?
Uh,
No, that answer is no. Attorney would not do it either. Nobody in their right mind would do it. Because if you buy it and it's bad, you're gonna have somebody up here want to give you $2,500 for it. You're making a big mistake.
You know what you
And you
need
need
to
to
do.
find out the proper way to do that. And signing the contract is not a proper way.
Well, something's gotta be signed,
Right.
or some kind of letter of intent or something's gotta be signed.
I'll ask her if she'd agree to some. You do that,
Who's the owner?
Karen Curtis. That's all I did.
It's not on there.
Karen Curtis.
Karen Curtis.
Who?
Karen Curtis.
Pembroke Pines address.
Well,
Well, I don't-
agreement to do it as well, and sales will be dependent on the, it's like an inspection of the house, I guess.
They're gonna, probably gonna want some money in escrow of some kind, I'm guessing.
They will. It's only 1,000. I don't know if she'll let us, I don't know how long it takes to do a test well and all that. This is, what, it's 30 days?
30-day due diligence.
Make a motion to have a approval to go for, if, depending on the outcome of that, well, the city had intent to purchase the property.
If she'll even agree to something like
Yeah,
that.
she'll agree.
Has the attorney reviewed that?
It's my, I've not been.
Not now, it's a little late.
I'm afraid it.
Hope she would recognize that you better make sure you can use that property before you give them the time.
I'm afraid of doubling or tripling the price once they know who's trying to get it and what we're getting it for.
What if we sign a,
I rescind that motion.
Yes.
what if we sign
I got a
a,
roll call going.
you rescind your motion?
Yeah.
You rescind it.
Did you rescind your second? Well, it
Yes,
doesn't matter.
yes.
Yeah, this is your first time, I guess my first time. There are some things that you should do before presenting council with information. First, you have an attorney that you can use. Secondly, you need to call Bill Bryan. Just joking. So you get back with us at the next meeting.
And besides that, when you're doing something that important, it needs to be on the agenda as a item of its own.
Yeah, instead of sending us an email. You're right.
They want property out there in the public, knowing who was trying to get it, what they were trying to get it for, to protect the price.
Everybody knows now.
I'm selling the TCDA for about 10 years now. One of the better deals we had about 8 years ago come through. They found out who was trying to buy it, the price doubled overnight. I was trying to prevent that. That's what's gonna happen. But if the well's good, it's worth double the price. Wow, this is good as well.
Well, that's just it. She'll want some kind of signature and some kind of something to go in there and start doing water, any kind of testing. I mean,
Let's do.
I've done this sort of thing before. You're not gonna walk on somebody's land or do anything without something signed. It ain't gonna happen.
What you suggesting?
There was maybe do a 6 month or 3. Do a maximum of 6. How long is it gonna take to shoot a well down and test it? To be done 30 days, 60 days? How many days is it gonna take?
I don't know. I'll have to reach out.
We can find somebody free,
About somebody what?
that's free and able to do it.
Oh, you mean like, okay, that's not tied up. We're going to pay him though.
Yeah, and it won't take.
Who drew that contract?
Mr. Brown's who drew the contract.
You do things like that. He's doing things like that.
See if they'll do okay, let's say if somebody is free, somebody can shoot a well. How long will it take to get the results?
Probably take a week to do the well. Probably will take, depending on what had to be tested for, it can take up to a month.
So we're talking 45 days from the time the well gets put down until you find the results. Can you find somebody in the next couple of months, you think? Do you know?
Make some phone calls tomorrow and see.
I've already texted somebody now.
Can we do a maximum of 6 months up to, and if something happens beforehand, we just go ahead and move?
She agrees to it. Tell her.
Can you find out? Whoever's speaking, who's the Karen Carter, whoever's speaking with her, can y'all find out?
And, we decided to order good or bad, where you draw the line, that's what those come back.
We did recommendation based on- There was such recommendation on last focus we had.
Find out what kind of, money they want, she wants, if she agrees to go forward with this on a 6-month or less contingency. Find out how much money she wants, put in, what do you call it? Escrow, thank you. I was wanting to say trust, but I know that wasn't the right word. Can we do that?
Good.
You need some, just an agreement from us, or do you need us to vote?
Can I go ahead and sign it with the city, if she agrees to all this? Or I'm not. I will need a motion for me to sign the agreement. Obviously contingent upon those water quality.
Right. Anybody care to make that motion?
Who does she think is buying? She thinks it's you personally buying it,
The ability to sign it.
but this is for the city, not you. And it's noting Curtis Law Firm as an agent.
With all the documents and stuff.
Is there some type of time limitation on as to why this is coming now for the city? I mean, is there some type of urgency regarding the time? Is the only urgency the fact that you're concerned that Ms. Curtis will find out it's the city that wants the property? Well, I have to say that I have not seen this. I knew it was a part of the discussion today. Maybe a very viable opportunity, but I know I missed one meeting a couple of weeks ago that referred to a well on the water that Mr. Castle was talking about today. If I understand correctly, it was a well site.
That was both out on Jackson Street, but the city of it. It was.
Right, right. So this is not what this is. So when, especially since no one else knows about this, when I heard you talking, I thought you were talking about the vacant stuff that we abandoned. I would suggest if possible to table this until next meeting.
But in the meantime, can we move forward with getting the property under some kind of contract in case everything works out, a 6-month contingency?
I'd like to do that.
Is there any problem with that, attorney?
Well, again, I can't speak to the efficacy of that or not. I mean, based on what I'm just hearing now, I don't feel comfortable suggesting whether it would be or not.
I'm just saying if we get get a decent contract that you approve of. I'm just saying, can we go ahead and move forward with it? Is that okay?
Yes,
If this council does that?
right. In some ways, I don't know what the language would be, so that's why I'm saying I don't feel like I can tentatively say yes. Except the idea, if the city felt comfortable, I guess, for the point of checking out the water to see if it's viable before purchasing the whole property. But like, would that come through a lease or a use license? What would that come?
Just say, I used to do this when I built cell towers. You go into a piece of property, you say, I need several months to see if I can get my permits. It expires at some point. I used to do 1 year. Typically. It was leasing land. All you do is go in and do say, I need a year to see if this will even work. If it won't work, you take the money I gave you, the 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is. You walk away with that money and no harm, no foul. That was on a lease, not a purchase. That was on a lease, not a purchase, but it's the same thing in theory. What's that?
You're saying something to lease it?
I said I was leasing the property. I wasn't buying the property,
Right,
but it's the same principle. It's just saying, hey, I need to find out if this property is gonna work for this purpose. I need to tie it up for X amount of months. Are you okay with that?
I think you might have to go.
That's all. Due diligence.
If the inspection comes back terrible, you back.
Real estate, it's done in real estate all the time.
I understand. Again, given that this was not on the calendar, I would say the same. I could not endorse it. I'm not saying that the city can't do what you desire to do, but I don't feel like I can endorse that.
I'm not talking about endorsing this. I'm talking about endorsing going forward with a 6-month contingency.
Release of some sort.
Authorizing John to go ahead and sign a contract based just on a contingency saying, hey, if everything works out, we'll move forward with the purchase. That's all. It's real simple. Sorry,
That's been approved.
it hasn't been approved. I'm asking, they're saying that that's the discussion right now, as far as I know, we're talking about doing. So. That's what John's asking for, is a motion on that and a vote.
So you get it done and make that happen.
Yes, I could get with it.
That's why you. Yeah. Yes. Did you hear what the mayor said?
Discussion. We're talking about doing a 6-month contingency.
Okay,
He gonna do it.
I'll let the mayor tell me.
It's just a 6-month contingency to see if everything's gonna work. If everything, a 6-month contingency to tie the property up for 6 months. And if everything works like it's supposed to, then we go forward with the purchase. If it doesn't work out, we walk away from it.
Something that's not even on the agenda. I mean,
What? He made plenty of motions that weren't on the agenda. He made a lot of motions that weren't on the agenda. And we voted on.
yeah, but they're not important issues.
Okay.
That's,
Anybody care to make a motion to that effect, or?
Make a motion.
All right, Ms. Hampton's made a motion. Anybody
when
want
you spend that kind of money, you need to do it a little different than buying a truck.
They're changing,
But we're not spending it unless everything works out.
they're changing the wordings and everything.
What's wrong with the site where the well is over here now?
Right. Trying to get some on the south side of town.
Yeah. That's why they make pumps and tanks. Come on now.
Yeah, I can speak to that. The main reason we're trying to find a well on the south side of town is because of the limited crossing from all of the railroad track crossings we have currently. If we put something on the south of town, we're gonna have less water standing time in pipes. Hopefully a better water quality depending on the well tests. But the main point of it is to get across town so we don't have to make these major infrastructure changes that are gonna take 10, 15 years to do. And we can go ahead and get better water quality sooner and better pressure on the south side.
But water quality, all this money we spend over here is supposed to take care of all that.
That only takes care of one of the city's 3 wells, and it cannot provide water to the entire city on its own. It was the worst
I don't
quality
know,
of the
I don't know
well,
why you can't use that property we already got.
because we can't overdraw down on property that we already have on a well. It's too close proximity. We can't put multiple wells that close to
It's
each
a
other.
pretty good piece.
It is a pretty good piece, but we don't have the ability to put another large well on that property. And if we had to put other filtration or any other treatment on that land, we're gonna run out of property pretty quickly.
I've been here a long time. We ain't run out yet.
I get it. But it's coming.
And, you know something I don't know about the growth of Perry, Florida.
What about the degradation of the wells that we have now? Why are we dropping every year?
Isn't the water department under consent order?
Has been for years. I inherited that problem.
And I would say this, like, if you know the process to get a well, tell us. Tell us what we need to do.
Like I said, I'll reach out to my contacts I already have now. I've already got a couple of quick answers, but I don't want to speak to any of them just yet. Not till I have more finite answers, but we will gladly get with them and figure out a process to do a test well on whatever property details we can. But if there's a way we can hold this property up and keep it from being potentially sold out from under us for something we really do need, I would love to see it. I'm not saying purchase it, I'm not saying do that, but if there's a way we can say, hang on, can we at least do some tests on the property if they'll allow it? Can we at least do that?
I don't see the harm in it personally. I've heard Florida Rural Water, I've heard our engineers, I've heard everybody coming here for years and say we need a well on the south side of town. There must be a reason. I'm not a water person. I don't really know. All I know is everybody's in agreement on that.
And we've been talking about it for years.
Exactly. I mean, I'm
Not a
not,
new issue. It's not.
if we're not gonna listen to all these professionals and engineers, then why bother having them? Really that simple too.
Voting then, or what?
Somebody's gotta make a motion
I made a motion.
to do what now exactly?
What you asked them?
Make a motion. that
But go ahead.
Property owners were put in the test. Try to test the property.
But we need to have some kind of something in paper saying we're gonna,
Yeah.
an
Make a
agreement.
Motion for the contract with contingencies is what she made the motion for a few minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
All right. Let's have a vote.
Councilman Brown,
We do.
let's have the sign with the contingency. 6 months contingency to make sure the water's fine.
Sign a contract with 6 months contingency, depending on the quality of the water. Correct?
Well, you don't,
That's what the motion was for.
somebody needs to find out what the heck we're talking about and what we're gonna do. And what we're doing is not right. I'm not gonna,
Let us know.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitlaw,
Yes.
Mayor Fisher.
Yes.
and how much money are you allowed in?
We're not changing any money.
Not changing any money at this point.
They gotta spend the money to find out.
You talking about
You can't do it without a test well. And you can't do it without a contract that says if it's bad,
whatever,
Let us know
you
what the
can't
cost.
buy it.
wherever we're gonna do a new well, we gotta see.
Bad.
Okay.
So you all, dealing with the contingency, the motion allow for contingency, it needs to be in the city of Perry. It can't be in a private citizen's name. That's actually against the records. It violates, there are parts of it that violates the sunshine law and open meeting requirements. And it can actually cause the transaction itself to be considered voidable.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
We're asking about a contingency contract.
I understand that.
You're going to give it them.
The contract
Who's the private name?
The name of the transaction is the name of John Hart, not city manager of Perry, Florida, as is noted like a private citizen. So even with the contract contingency that you all agreed for, that it still would need to be in city of Perry. It's a city of Perry transaction, it's not a private actor.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to sign that contract?
That was a draft.
That was the agreement price.
Well, I asked particularly who is a part, who do they understand the transactional person to be? And the city can't make transactions like it's acting on behalf of a private citizen. That needs to be clear. Because that
And it
can
can
end up
be
being
changed.
portable.
That was a draft, that can be changed, it's nothing.
Well, I'm just noting that, so
Right.
even with the city council giving opportunity for contingency, it needs to be in the name of the city.
One thing you can't do is get a sample from whatever is around that place. Say there were 10 houses, get a sample of those 10 houses and have it tested. You won't have it tested like you will if there's a well there, but you can test it to a certain degree.
Good idea.
If they'll let you do it. If they won't, you better run.
John, got anything else?
Roll out.
City attorney?
Just on, follow up with this, we're gonna move forward with that. Is this gonna be on the next agenda as well?
To do what?
Regarding any costs or what they were able to find regarding how they're gonna test the well.
Wherever we put a well anywhere, it's gotta be tested. We gotta shoot a test well no matter what.
My question.
If we put one 5 foot from one we got now, we gotta shoot a test well.
Question only was that, would it be on an agenda to follow up with? Because you all still haven't determined amount or however the well is gonna be tested, it doesn't have to be on the next agenda. I'm gonna ask just because, again, if this has some time to it, then I wanna make sure that I'm reviewing this and that if you all have any other questions regarding costs or the actual execution contingency contract that you all review it, because you're allowing him to do it, but there's the terms of which.
So you need, like you
I
said,
was-
like a time to go over it.
Yeah, I was led to believe at some point we had money set aside or we had a grant or something to shoot a test well.
It may only produce 200 gallons a minute. And they're gonna be stuck.
I'll check with DEP to see what kind of neighboring wells we may have in the area and if any of them would suffice for a test location.
Maybe some across the street. I don't know that.
I don't know for certain, but the forest office there.
It may be, I don't know.
I do know there's one to the rear of the property, a couple blocks over at the Orange Grove. I know they have a well for the Orange Grove itself. It is agricultural.
That's right. I forgot about that one. Pretty good size one, if I'm not mistaken.
It would probably be a pretty similar size and that's what the city might have to put in for a new project. So
Right.
that one is also. We'll check with them. But like I said, I'll check with DEP and see what they would allow as far as the test location in the area.
All right.
I forgot about, we have somebody approved for that. But we're paying them for. How much this spot, I think that included.
I think it is well.
We've been talking about this for years, and I remember something at some point, something come up about some money being available. I keep saying shoot a test well, drill a test well, whatever you want to call it, put a pipe in the ground and test the water. Water flow, water quality, et cetera.
I think you're right.
Anyway, Hope, do you have anything else?
A couple of things. I just wanted to know of this, I started in July, but most of the things we're compliant with. There have been, some new, affirmative requirements for cities in 2025 legislation that I just wanted to mention. And also that there are some cities who are joining in class action suit because they feel that many of these, including the one I'm about to share, is against home rule. I don't think it's gonna affect us as far as the first one I'm gonna mention as much. But Senate Bill 784, I'm dealing with plating, creating of the subdivisions and recreating different plating lines. The state law now requires cities to implement an administrative review process for all plats and replats. Diane was here, I'm so sorry. I was mentioning to Diane the zoning board, cities that currently require plats and replats to be approved by a governing body must change their current process to conform it to the new law. All other cities must review their current process to ensure conformity with the new law. Basically, the new law is making it way easier for a citizen or someone to plat or replat on the property, but our current LDR has as a part of what the zoning board does. And this is an attempt to just make an administrative process, so if they check off all the right boxes, then that could be approved without it having gone to a zoning board. Those kind of decisions traditionally has been reserved for city councils to determine. And another part of that, or another something in similar measure, Senate Bill 1080 Local Government Land Development Regulations, effective in October 2025, cities must specify in writing the information that must be submitted in an application for zoning, rezoning, subdivision, certification, special exceptions or variance, and to confirm receipt of the applications within 5 days. I don't know right now how quickly we probably turn it around quicker than 5 days. And we do have a number of things in writing, but even the zoning board have been mentioning how they wanted the process to be more easily understood. When people come in asking for information, well, how do I apply for this and that? And normally, because we only have one person staffed in that position, it's based on whatever's told to them. And I guess we had an example today in our public hearing that there's not an automatic expectation that you will receive the answer within 5 days. It's really usually just based on anything else when someone gets around to it. And those are just two things that I want to note it regarding the expectation of implementation sooner than later. And we haven't had any requests for plats or replats, but that became effective in July regarding written out instructions and reply in 5 days for zoning questions and things alike that that is effective on October 1st, 2025. And since I am here with so many of our leaders, there were other affirmative requirements that that our departments may already be in compliance with, but I would love to connect, or if you even aware of it now, has there already been some implementation, individually, like for, a House Bill 551, fire protection, is requiring the cities to implement a simplified permitting process consistent with Florida statute 553.7932 by this October, and it's to simplify permitting process for fire alarms or sprinkler system projects of 20 or fewer alarm devices or sprinklers. I'm just noting that, because I would love to, when we can, after our hearing or after our council day, maybe get a meeting with you, fire chief, to see if, you know, that may be something that impacts us a lot or not. We may be, I don't know that we get many requests regarding projects over 20 fire alarms that much, but and another, so that, those three things are, or at least the fire prevention and the zoning requirement of information being made public, as well as to respond in 5 days. That's supposed to be implemented by October 2025. So I would love to connect with you and any other department that may have been made aware of some new affirming change that the state has done in correcting some other requirement that typically would only come from the city council. And so that's why some, especially major cities, are up at arms saying it's going against home rules, which is constitutionally protected. But like anything else, we'll wait and see what comes out with the lawsuits. But of course, we'll come into compliance as best we know how, if we have to adjust anything. But also, because I know Mr. Hart and I have at least been in talking about changing some of the land, the LDR aspects through a ordinance that you all would sign. And I know some law firms have asked, said we can help you with this, but I believe particularly because it's a very simple process in planning regarding our organization in Perry. So we should be able to do that in-house, and I'll have a resolution ready for you all to review at the next.
More simple part, or take care of it.
Yeah, they have a proposed resolution.
Should be telling us that, like, one of our continuing engineers, that we had to do these changes to get in compliance with that. And he was gonna charge us $7,000 to do it for us.
Oh, no.
But that's all for me, right?
Thank you. Carly. Jamie, okay, RB. Danielle. All right. Andrew. Sean. All right. Hampton. Sunita.
Yes. John, did you check on that grant?
Jimmy looked into it, they had AI about it. I didn't see anything available.
Oh, you found something?
I found an FDLE grant that just deals with crime prevention. It
Mhm.
wasn't attached to the gun sale.
Gun said, okay.
You're seeing that falling a little bit more out of favor,
Mhm.
but grants that, at least the ones I looked at, they can only come through the city, city's police department or law enforcement, the public defender's office, or the prosecutor's office. So I do hope to work with Jamie with some ideas as to a criminal prevention program, but I did not see a grant dealing with gun buybacks.
Okay,
Most of those grants are directed towards the county level, not municipal.
okay.
I know, but it
Right.
does give an opportunity.
Okay.
And our side eliminates us from applying for federal grant as well.
They all come through the Office of State Grants, through FDLE. So we're filtering funds through them. And if we don't meet their project guidelines, they come along. They've changed that grant process a lot in the last few years. Very different.
You know, I imagine there's a new one that goes into effect in January. So whether I can get potential traction through law enforcement or the public defender's office or the state attorney's office. But I did not find a grant. I'm not saying there's not. I did not find a grant regarding buyback.
Okay.
And in this unfortunate atmosphere, I don't know if many people would respond to the buyback. Right?
Then I just want to thank the mayor and everybody that attended our peace walk that we had Tuesday. Yeah, it's nice.
I wasn't there.
No. I want to thank you for meeting with the guys that came out and trying to teach us how to handle situations
Good
like
meeting.
that.
Had a
Yes,
good meeting.
yes. Other than that, that's it for me.
Okay. Sooner or later, it's gonna come up. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Me and Dan Castle go to the same church. I don't know Dan that well. I know his son a lot better than I know him. He wasn't even on my radar. I asked several people to buy that piece of property. Everybody said, no, it's in a flood zone, it's trashed, forget it. Danielle's the one that told me that Dan Castle was gonna come forward and try, or approach you about buying that property.
Probably a month ago about it or more.
And so I was fixing to file papers on the city of Perry because it just sitting there, nobody will move one way or another. We were offered a choice. The only choice I even know exists. If somebody else out there in TV land wants to come forward and offer something, come forward and offer something. Please. Right now, that's the only thing I know of that's anybody's even close to being interested in it. And I'm gonna go forward tomorrow morning to go and file paperwork. Well, something's gotta change on this.
You don't have to. I've got you down. Complain.
Let's do
Where
it.
could we place Mr. Castle? I think he said he might, oh, he's gone, not Mr. Castle.
Cool.
Is that his name, Mr. Castle?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, when he was standing up there, I don't know if that officially caused a complaint, but I thought he said that he would.
Oh, he
file,
did. Mhm.
So that, although as a private citizen, I looked up really quick, you, as a mayor, you still can file, but when and if it comes back to the city, you wouldn't be able to vote on it. But if Ms. Castle.
It's fine by me, but I am gonna file it.
You will wanna file, you will wanna vote on it, but I was just suggesting.
It's just, and I understand there's other properties, and if anybody else wants to file on I have filed on other properties, it's never the city. I have filed on other properties. Have I not?
I've had communication with just about every council member about issues.
Exactly, and I have gone on record, I filed on other pieces of property, I just never filed against the city, and I don't wanna file against the city, I really don't. But I feel like at this time, there isn't any other choice because
That is what.
there's any other choice,
That is what we do, Ward.
right?
Our constituents give us a complaint. We file it for them.
Right,
Now,
and there's others.
in my
No.
district, which about 5 years ago, it was so clean and nice. Every piece of property was clean up. When we don't keep it clean, it rises back up. So now we have another big jungle in our community, your community, our community, yes, community. And we're going to file the suit. Let's just say all of the properties we need to get done.
Well, I suggest that y'all put some money.
Listen,
You ain't got no money for that.
listen, we need to talk about it, Danielle.
I know, that's what I'm saying, because that particular plantation, there's no way you can.
We need to talk about it.
That one
Maybe-
property will eat it up.
It may be,
It's one
I
across the road
was
from my
speaking- I was
grandmother, right?
speaking
So cost more than that.
Speaking,
Yes, ma'am.
I was speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't know, we might be able to find some funds. To get someone who won't charge us an arm and a leg to go in and clean up these properties. But we can't just fight for one property without fighting for others to be clean, is what I'm saying.
I understand.
Because
what
every, you have the lake on Henley. I don't know whether it's been cleaned or not. But she's been asking for that property to be cleaned forever. And it's still the same way.
Mm.
I know that we can clean up these properties. We've done it before, we can do it again.
But the difference in what Ward is trying to explain and what you explaining is that we have someone that's willing to come buy the property and get it cleaned up. Correct me if I'm wrong, what you're trying to get is the city to come in and say, hey, we're gonna clean the properties, which is gonna cost, but if we can get rid of some of these properties, that's what he's saying.
I'm just saying we had a way out and refused it.
Mhm.
So,
Move the ball down.
Yes.
You all have
So-
the right to sell the property.
Mhm.
If that doesn't happen, I can understand. Then Mayor Kedrick said, I'm willing to file a complaint against the city
Exactly.
in their code enforcement.
it isn't something I wanted to do. I've held off. I've been wanting to do it. I held it. Well, when you said, Dan Castle, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. He got the piece. Yeah, I forgot he had his daughter lives there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but I said, okay, I'll hold off and hopefully this will work itself out. Well, it didn't. We had every chance in the world to do it, refused it,
That's right.
said no. So
You have the right.
There you
to
go.
do that.
that's where I'm at on it.
What we can do is put it up ourselves for 8,000 and it's up to him for 8,500, make $500. When you sit there and offer you 2,500, he take care of all the liability and everything along with it.
And didn't have to do anything except say yes.
Type up a piece of paper.
And it
So-
goes back on tax roll.
And you don't want everyone filing the complaint, and then there'll be nobody to be.
Exactly, Lynn.
You don't want everyone filing the complaint, or you'll have no one
No,
to be able to go on the sale.
exactly.
Mr. Castle will be the name.
And chief,
Well,
all those properties in District 2. The vacant properties is overgrown. I'd like for those to be noticed as well. Maybe we get those cleaned up, somebody will come and buy it.
Can I have another code enforcement officer for a while then?
Can you do what?
Can I have a temporary code enforcement officer?
I don't ever see,
Because,
I don't ever see anything going before the magistrate.
oh, yes,
We
by
have.
the time,
You had two on there.
by the
I
time they get to the,
Our magistrate is used to be
by the time, he's been communicating with people regularly. And by the time it comes to the magistrate hearing, they've taken care of the issue there. So it's not like he goes, notices them and disappears. He continues and follows up and makes sure they're doing it. So it's corrected before we get to the hearing.
Can I get a copy of those that have been noticed, please?
That's wherever the record, yeah. Got the records.
Can I strongly suggest, and I do see, Mayor Ketchins or Mr. Castle's situation a little bit different, because the city council is not making any decisions regarding selling, which could answer the problem. That is not only the idea of, putting a broad stroke of all properties that could be considered problematic. There is a process of complaint, so you need to file the complaint and why you believe that it's of some type of hazard. And also, like you said, to file the complaint and also note what you believe are the hazards or the violations that are happening on that property. And as he said, then the code official comes to the owners, which is the city. I'm like, you are the people,
Yeah.
and you have an opportunity to comply with the code and give an idea, an estimation of how much it will cost or time to do it. Then if you still are in non-compliance, you come to special magistrate, and then right now magistrate, she would decide if you're in violation, then give you usually 30 days to comply. This is gonna be really interesting because I'm the prosecutor
Very.
of code enforcement.
Yes.
You'll have
So you may need a special master prosecutor. And it's like, instead of holding yourself accountable through a code enforcement, it'd be great to hold yourself accountable as the board because you have the authority. And then whatever the fine is, if you don't come into compliance typically in 30 days, you have a fee assessed to you every day that you're out of non-compliance. And that fee could be up to $500 a day. So what may help, and I'm just noting this, because you all do have the power without code enforcement that you also control to get these properties in order, that maybe because of the frustration of the day, today may not be the time, but you have the opportunity to like make decisions to clean up the properties, because what you don't want is end up having how many fines over how many properties to get done in 30 days when we're still trying to talk about all the other needs of the city. It sounds, but it's like, it's almost like a parent putting themselves on punishment.
And now you can
Exactly.
set a sovereign immunity.
Okay, I was over here saying sovereign immunity, but no one was listening, and Jamie just nodded his head. Sovereign immunity in this case, cities can be held to be in compliance with their own ordinances. What is limiting is like damages, right? And things of that nature. Someone got hurt in the water by the city. But what I've looked at so far, it is a limited waiver when it comes to performance. So our code enforcement can tell any owner of property to perform and get into compliance. It may be an argument, we may not be able to be fined for it, or there's limitations, but like I said, that you may want to think also about initiative, and maybe this is in the budget or not, I don't know, of how can we start cleaning up some of these properties. But I realize, because of one of the ways to clean it up is to sell it to people willing to clean up, doesn't seem to move the goalposts, that you may feel like this is your last effort. But I just wanted to let you know, it's still gonna come back to you unless you all recuse yourself and have another council and you take on all these complaints, then it may not do what you think it'll do. And if you attach yourself to the things are already before the board to decide, like selling property that's also under code violation, if you file, you can't vote on the sale of the property that you may be interested in. So that's what I'm saying, like, it sounds great, but I would advise against it, because you may find yourself unable to perform, and I don't know, or this is not the most powerful way to go forward, because you have the right to say yes now.
Exactly.
Bring us a list of the, call them the fines that the city has assessed. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bring us one of those.
Bill, the outstanding fines that have been assessed, or?
Yeah,
What you're looking for?
that'd be a good thing to see for the heck of it. All I know, and I'm gonna simplify it. That piece of property is killing trees around it on other people's property, period. The bugs are all in it, the bugs are spreading, they do that. Ask anybody in the forestry business. Anybody. Secondly, there's a tree about 1.5 feet thick. Bottom of it's on the ground. It goes up like a ramp onto a bunch of limbs that are rotting by the day. That is, I think, when I was a 10-year-old, I'd been all over that tree, having a big time swinging all over it. Okay? I think lawyers call that an attractive nuisance.
Oh, yeah.
And if a kid goes to swinging on that thing at the wrong time, I just don't want it to happen. Okay, to me, it's a danger issue.
The terminology used for trees like that is called a widowmaker.
Correct. I don't want it to happen. I do not want it to happen. It's that simple for me. It's a safety issue. It's not, I mean, okay, fine, the thing's killing other people, trees in people's yards, like. That's neither here nor there. I mean, with us, I guess, it is with the people that own the trees, but I guess with us, that's not that big a deal, but the fact is somebody, that could happen to somebody weighs heavily on me, it really does. That's where I'm at on it, legal, all this legal terminology aside, that's where I'm at. So, anyway, that's why I feel like I need to do what I need to do. And that's all I have. Mr. Bill? Is that anything else?
Ready?